Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and share a dream that I received on yesterday, which was February the 27th. In this dream, it started out where I was in my home, and it wasn't my literal home, but in the dream, this was my home. I looked outside and I could see these men, they were standing around my home, and I knew they were sent there because they were, trying to see my movements. They were tracking my movements. And at this point, I don't remember all the details because some of this is very blurry for whatever reason. But I'm just sharing with you guys what I do remember. So at this particular scene, I had caught wind that something was about to happen, and I knew it was an inside job. And it was made known to me that the government was basically planning something um, to cause harm to the people. Now, I can't remember if this was representing like, the United States as a whole, or if this was like targeted to a certain area. But I just remember that some kind of way I was made known that this was something that had been planned and they were about to execute it. And so my instinct was to get to my youngest son. So I knew that I had to leave the home so in a way where they wouldn't see that I left. So I remember I went out of a side door and I was I was lowering myself to where they couldn't see me. And once I got further away from them, I just took off running in the direction where my son was. So I ended up what looked to be a school setting, and I could again see different men scattered around in this building. And I knew that they too were also a part of this plan. And I was trying not to be seen. So I was looking for my son, and I could see a bunch of kids, teenagers just kind of walking around. And a lot of them were walking in single file lines. I don't know why they were in single file lines, but I spotted my son and I was motioning for him to come towards me. And he didn't know what was going on. He was just walking casually to me. And I told him, I said, don't say anything, but something's about to happen and we have to leave here like quickly. And so I grabbed his hand. And as we were leaving, I can't remember if I woke up at this point, but the scene changed. And I ended up what looked to be in a conference room. And there were other businessmen. And I even saw a businesswoman. I can't remember. I knew there were men and women, and they were dressed very professionally. And we were all positioned in this conference room. And I knew that these individuals also was made aware that something had been plotted against the people. And they had called Obama on the speakerphone. And I remember they were telling him basically that this is something that they were made known of, and they needed him to intervene to stop this from happening. And Obama was basically saying that he was saying that he didn't know what these plans were, but he was also saying that he didn't want to get in the middle of of this situation. And I remember I picked up the phone and I started talking, and I said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing because I can't remember verbatim what I said, but it was along the lines of me letting him know, look, I know you're saying that you are not aware of what's going on, or you don't want to be in the middle, but this is something that I need you to reconsider. And I said, I will give you a little bit of time to think about this, but you're going to have to give us your final answer. And I think I gave a time frame, but it wasn't a long time frame because we knew whatever had been plotted, it was literally about to be carried out like soon. um, so after I got off the phone with Obama, again, the scene changed, and it showed me walking up to this house. Now, the owners of the house were actually my ex-pastor and his wife. And they were outside, and it looked like they was conducting some kind of meeting. And for whatever reason, I started walking up to these people, to the people that were in this meeting. And it seemed like I knew them in the dream, but I didn't know them literally, like in real life. And I was walking up to them and I was just apologizing for my demeanor because the way I was looking, it was like I had been running and just, trying to find a place of safety for like a long time. So I was dirty and I needed to take a shower and I was just really sweaty. But I still managed to kind of just hug them, just to, show respect. So the owners of the home, gave me permission to go in their house and get cleaned up. So when I walked into the home, the house was very like beautiful, like it was huge. It was whoever lived here, looked like they had a lot of wealth, because you can tell by the way the home was furnished. So as I'm walking into this house, I see Malia Obama, and I could tell she had just got out the shower because she had a towel wrapped around her and her hair was soaking wet. And I was just letting her know that, I wanted to, take a quick shower, and I was asking her where the bathroom was. So she showed me where the bathroom was, and I went in the bathroom and I took a shower. And I don't know if this means anything, but my hair, right now, I am relaxed. I used to be natural, but I relaxed my hair about a year ago. Um, but in the dream, my hair was in its natural state. So I was looking for like hair products that I could use to, deal with my hair. But I took a shower, I washed my hair, I got out, I put some clothing on. I don't remember, all of that. It just seemed like the dream was kind of skipping around. I ended up sitting next to Malia Obama in the bedroom, and I had some hair products and a brush, and I was just detangling my hair and just applying products as I was talking to her. And I don't remember everything she was saying to me, but I do remember the owner of the home, which was depicted as my ex pastor. He had walked into the room and he was having a conversation with us. I don't remember what he was saying, but as I was detangling my hair and brushing it, I looked down on the floor and he was stepping on my hair. So my hair was so long, you guys, he was literally stepping on my hair. And I remember I politely told him, you're stepping on my hair. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know your hair was that long. And so he ended up leaving the room. And Malia was like, I didn't know your hair was longer than mine. So, I'm still doing my hair. I'm detangling it. I'm applying product. I'm twisting it up. And then I'm working on the next section. And I noticed Malia was crying. And it was made known to me at that moment that she was crying because she, was in love with this guy, but her father was not going to approve of the relationship. And as we started talking, I just realized that what she was expressing to me was there was such a level of control that was over her life that she really couldn't live her own life. Everything that she did, it had to be approved. And I could just tell that she was so unhappy, and she didn't like, being in the position she was in. And it almost seemed like there was like a resentment there too. Like you could just see in her face that she wished that she was not in this particular situation. She wanted to be normal. And after that, I woke up out the dream. So I thought it was interesting. Number one, I've never dreamt of Malia Obama before, and number two, I thought it was significant that I would dream about Obama in the first part of the dream, but in the second part, I was dreaming about his daughter. And, we can have a whole long conversation about that, but I'm saying his daughter for the video's sake and just the fact that that was how it was depicted in the dream. And we know that's the role that's being played. So I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, so what I get from the first part, I feel like this was a warning dream of some sort. Um, and I feel like I always have to put these disclaimers out because I don't want anybody to understand where I'm coming from when I share my dreams. So I didn't watch anything, didn't look at anything, didn't read anything, wasn't thinking about Obama. And you guys know who have followed this channel. I've had a lot of dreams about Obama. And this will be the first dream I've had of him, in this new year. But I feel like this was some type of warning dream because it was made known that this was some type of plan, some type of plot that the government was conjuring up to hurt people. And I also find it interesting that it showed me in this conference room and hearing this conversation that was being had with Obama, because the reality of this situation is Obama is not the president, right? So why would it show people, reaching out to Obama when this was some type of, governmental type of, even it could have been like a national crisis situation where people were going to be hurt, and they were planning and plotting this. So you would think that the person that they would be contacting to, give a heads up of what they know would be the actual president of the United States, but they called Obama. So it makes me feel like Obama was aware of what was going on. And also, it makes me feel like Obama does have a level of power that is not being portrayed to the public, but behind closed doors, they know who is the one that they are getting their directions from. They're getting their instructions from what to do and how to carry it out. So it just felt like the dream was showing me who was really in charge, because they contacted him in hopes that he would intervene and stop whatever was planned not to happen. It's interesting that not only was I being shown something that was on a whole other scale of, you know, him having some type of involvement with causing harm to citizens, but the dream also showed me the other side of that coin when it came to his own child, because here it is, she is his daughter and she's going through her own struggles and her own um situation where she's feeling a sense of control that's being placed upon her, to where she can't freely move and freely live her life the way she desires to. So it's almost like God was showing me two spectrums of, this whole situation with Obama, because we see we see in a lot of ways how he is towards, you know, um, the citizens of this nation, but we don't see what's really going on when it comes to those who are close to him. And it just seemed like there was a reason behind why God showed me Malia Obama, and her being in that state of mind, because it was very clear to me that she was unhappy and she did not like where she was, in the sense of when you look at her life, like there was so much behind her tears and the look in her face where it just showed how unhappy she really is. I don't know, you guys, I just wanted to come on here and share this dream because I thought it was very interesting. And um like I said, I haven't dreamt about Obama in a while. And for me to dream of him and his daughter, I just found it to be very significant. But the fact that it was made known that this was a government inside job, that made me feel like I really needed to share this with you all. So, again, if I receive anything else, I will definitely let you guys know. But, please pray over this, see what the Lord gives you. All right, you guys, love you. Take care.